Welcome to a new update, and in this update we are doing an all-around version of the markets, which are the altcoins. The altcoins are moving up substantially and Bitcoin itself is finding itself into a support. So we can expect Bitcoin to consolidate here, and if Bitcoin starts to consolidate or show some affection to the upside, we can also assume that the altcoins are going to follow suit. So in this update, we're going to have an all-round overview on the altcoins. I'm also producing an altcoin update for the altcoin portfolio, which you will be able to find in the Discord, which you can find in the description beneath, where all the information on the altcoin portfolio will be shared, which have been underwater. We're getting back into the territories where we want to be in. Also, before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and check out our partner Bitfavo, where you get 10 euros deposit bonus if you make your first deposit, and 10,000 euros for free if you're trading altcoins, which you can do. More than 200 altcoins are over there. I'm using Bitfavo as my crypto to fiat gateway, which you can use everywhere in Europe. And also I'm using Bitfavo for my DCA investments into altcoins, which I want to pursue for the longer term, which also why I'm building my portfolio at this point with Bitcoin. During this video, it's at least at 27.2k. So let's get started. What we're looking at with the Bitcoin at this point is that we have been seeing a tremendous test at the 200-week EMA. I think that the 200-week EMA is a crucial indicator which we pursue to hold at this point. If Bitcoin is going to consolidate and sustain above it here, we can make sure that we can continue the upwards momentum, which most likely is going to bring us to a case that we break towards anywhere around 44 to 47k before we start to fall back, have another period of consolidation, and then the real bull starts. So I think that the odds of having a bottom is significant from here, especially since the fact that if we look at this construction, and if we look at the historical perspective of Bitcoin, we can argue that Bitcoin is currently holding above the levels of the 200-week EMA. We have been testing it multiple times, and as long as we stay above it, we can make sure that that is the bottom. As long as Bitcoin stays above it, we are fine. If Bitcoin drops beneath, that is going to be a trigger that we're going to have a very substantial fall, which we have also been seeing in 2022. But given the amount of tests that we are having here, I think that the odds are quite significant that we're going to have a continuation, especially when you start to look at the case of 2015, 2016, where we also had a drop in August, consolidation afterwards, and October and November and even December were big periods of upwards momentum in which Bitcoin ran from 227 towards 462. I'm not sure whether we're going to have the exact same case, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin is going to be traded at around 45 to 50k in a matter of few months from now. Now, when we're looking at Bitcoin, we also need to look at the total market cap, which, as you can see, is currently in a crucial support, through which, if we are going to hold this level of support, the upwards trend is going to be there, which means that we are making higher lows, we are consolidating. The trend has been shifting since we have been getting into the case of November and December of 2022, where Bitcoin markets or the crypto markets have been crashing after the FTX collapse. Now we start to trend back up, which means that from here we can expect to see continuation to the upside. Through which there is a very likely case that we're going to trend to the upside, especially since we are reclaiming the 200-week EMA. If we continue to do that, we expect to see continuation there too. Total market cap doesn't really react towards the 200-week EMA, but it is making another bottom support test, and I've been making this green area here as an important indicator which can be showing for continuation of the markets, or at least for buying pressure, which means that if we get into that area, that is the zone where you want to position yourself into long. So I've been saying for the past few months to actually purchase your altcoins, sustain in those altcoins, and it starts to look pretty significant at this point that you have to continue to stay into those. The rewards will be provided. When we're looking at the total tree, it is actually continuing to make a higher low. So all in all, and it's still very early, but all in all, we can start to see some momentum to the upside where we can start to see strength. We've had a period of upwards momentum and we have a period of downwards momentum, and now it looks to be a case where we can see continuation to the upside. Bitcoin dominance, it is still grinding up at this point, and that is because during this video we can make sure that Bitcoin is trending up, and as long as Bitcoin trends up, it is a very likely case that Bitcoin dominance continues to rally. What we will be seeing is Bitcoin goes up, altcoins against Bitcoin drop, altcoins against USD go up, Bitcoin flatlines, and that is the period where altcoins start to pace up. The first altcoin we have to look at is the altcoin which we refer to as Ethereum. I wouldn't say it's an actual altcoin, but when we look at Ether against Bitcoin, the trend is still downward. But as a matter of fact, we could be seeing an Ether ETF futures to be applied within a few weeks or even a few days. If that is getting approved, most likely we're seeing a case here of sell the rumor, buy the news for Ether, which means that after this news, the trend starts to shift to the upside, and the expectation of a Bitcoin ETF future is going to be going up even more. And the final deadlines are around January to March, so I would assume that we're going to get a rally. ETF Bitcoin futures is going to be, or Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be applied. Final wick above start to fall. I think that's going to be the trend here, and that is a combination with the fact that the dollar is most likely getting into a stage of at least a temporary top. We have been taking out all the highs, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start to fall. And also, when we're looking at the 2-year yields, it is starting to have a top here, or at least getting close to one, which means that the final part of the hiking policy, the dollar starting to weaken, ETH ETF futures starting to be applied, Bitcoin spot ETF sentiment start to switch, halving start to switch. It is a great period to start investing into the crypto markets, and I'll be dedicating more content towards it in the coming period. Final few minutes are dedicated towards an asset which we call Chainlink. I've been covering it a lot, and we can see a case that we have been reaching. I was trying to get this long, but I didn't get it. We had deviation here, ready towards the range high, retest at $6, beautiful retest, rally towards the highs, and now it is finally time to start breaking through that resistance, and we can start seeing continuation to the upside, where we can potentially even target 15 to 18 bucks. Also, link against Bitcoin, we can see that we had a beautiful retest here, which is this low, and we can start seeing a retest taking place here, through which the trend starts to go up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we even ready towards 4,500 sats. Short update, I'll be back on Tuesday with a new update on the markets. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Ciao!